A C-17 out of Kabul with a reported 800 souls aboard, while a handful cling to the outside, desperate to get in. This and more on Taking Off. Hi, I'm Dan Milliken, and we're brought to you by Gold Seal and Flying Eyes. You've seen the footage. I know it's been haunting me all day. A C-17 taxiing out of Kabul as the Taliban is moving in. The U.S. lost control of the airport perimeter, and thousands of Afghans trying to flee the oncoming Taliban rushed the field, and a reported 3 people clung to the aircraft as it climbed in the air and fell to their deaths. Now, I don't care what political party or leaning you have, this is horrible. No spin will make this okay. But that's politics, and we're going to talk aviation. That flight crew had a lot on their hands. Besides most likely being near max weight, the pilots had to be concerned about what might get damaged or broken on the outside of the aircraft as they got ready for departure. And it's not like they could stop, get out, and inspect. These brave pilots had to hope that all was well and take off with their passengers to get them to freedom. And as a pilot, this is one reason the images haunt me. What would I do in that cockpit? As one person on one of the aviation forums put it, it's the worst of humanity and the best of humanity. And by all reports, the C-17 landed safely, and that's about all I can report from the aviation side from this incident. One last observation on the video, on the footage, it is 100% able-bodied Afghani men running alongside of and underneath that C-17 trying to escape as the Afghan military collapses. I'm not drawing conclusions, just making an observation. All right. Moving to the domestic side and the flight instructor being for hire FAA interpretation. Most of you are aware of the situation, but a quick recap in case you're not. In the FAA, carrying passengers for compensation or hire is a whole new set of rules, very stringent rules. For decades, flight instruction has not been considered carrying passengers for compensation or hire. Most reasonable people see that distinction as when a person who pays for passage to get from one location to another, transportation. But here's what happened. A Florida company, Warbird Adventures, was providing paid instruction in their Warbirds, and the FAA went after them, and in court, the FAA prevailed. The court said, when the student is paying for the instruction, the student is being carried for compensation. And as EAA, AOPA, and other aviation groups pressed the FAA for clarification, the FAA doubled down, which is causing big concern. Now, one thing I will add, just to be clear, this is affecting experimental, limited, and primary category aircraft. And the FAA solution? Bureaucracy. It's not about safety and training. Steve Dixon, the chairman of the FAA, while at AirVenture a couple of weeks ago, said the answer is the FAA is improving their delivery method for the LODA, or Letter of Deviation Authority. In other words, you have to apply for the exemption from their interpretation of the rules. Jack Pelton, CEO of EAA, has laid the blame on the FAA's chief legal counsel. So what's the next steps to fix this? Well, both the EAA and AOPA have worked hard and fast to change the rules so that the FAA cannot misinterpret the regulation. In other words, change the regulations. And a new bill has been introduced called the Certainty for General Aviation Pilots Act of 2021. And they're asking all of us to reach out and contact representatives and senators to express support of the measure. And we need to do this. I already have. AOPA makes it easy with a link, and I'll include it in the description below. Let's do something about this. Okay, that's the big news of the week. And now I'm going to turn to some channel stuff, so if you want to check out, I understand. I've been posting daily AirVenture videos since the start, so almost at a month. But man, that's quite a load posting daily. So yes, I might start spacing it out a little. And I appreciate everyone who's been watching, and I really appreciate the comments from people saying they really enjoy the daily videos. When it gets hard to put those things out, it's those comments that kind of keep it going. It always amazes me what videos are popular with you guys and which ones aren't. My favorite video from the week was one of the least watched ones, the night air show. And a few of you that watched it overwhelmingly loved it. I mean, it was one of the most positive comments that we've received on any video. And then my quick iPhone weather update after the Wednesday night storm was one of the most watched. So go figure. I can never figure out this YouTube stuff. But looking ahead, coming soon, a special video with Corey Robin on why his life changed so dramatically recently, the Velocopter for Urban Taxi, a sit-down with Angle of Attack Chris Palmer, and more vendor interviews. I've also got the full interview with Patty Wagstaff and the portion where we sat in her car with Brian Turner and watched landings. I might only release that to the Hangar Club. I'm still thinking about that one. Someone commented that they thought us judging the landings was poor taste, but we judge our own landings as well. And it's one of the pastimes at AirVenture. It's what you do. And as far as comments, I want to address some of the more common questions I've been seeing in this deluge of daily videos. By far, people have asked me, did I get a chance to enjoy AirVenture in spite of all the work? And the answer is yes, but here's why. I run my own film and video company. I love my job. I love my career. I love what I do. So even though it was work all during the week at Oshkosh, it was work I love. Sure, it would have been nice to just sit back and enjoy the planes at some point, but invariably, if I do that, I'll immediately start thinking, ooh, this would make a great video. All right, the next biggest comment. I'll admit this one caught me by surprise. It's not Osh, it's AirVenture. Okay, as pilots, we use abbreviations all the time. To me, that's all it was. A very fast way to say EAA AirVenture was just to say, I'm going to Osh. But many of you were offended, even going so far as to say that it's pretentious. And I don't know or care what's hip or cool to say. In my circle of pilot friends, we used Osh all the time to talk about it. And I had no idea it offended some of you. And I thought about just continuing the usage. But if you watch the videos, you'll notice after the first couple of days I started to read the comments, I stopped using the term Osh. If it bothers you that much, I'll say AirVenture to be safe, or Oshkosh. And finally, I'll address one other comment. Yes, I know, I didn't show the panel on Juan's 310. My bad. I won't make that mistake again. If only YouTube would allow me to upload a revision. All right. Finally, I want to talk frankly about sponsors. In building this channel, Christy and I get to choose who we work with. And in my business, I call it life's too short to deal with jerks category. So we tend to surround ourselves with crew and people and sponsors who are the good guys, the ones you like to hang out with, the ones who are genuinely good people and have great products and services. And that's why it's so easy to partner up with people like Dean Syracuse at Flying Eyes, a pilot who saw a problem and found an ingenious solution, or Russ Still at Gold Seal, the founder of the company who will respond to a question on social media from anyone if you ask, not one of his people, the man himself. And I've gone through the groundschool.com course. It's a great way to get your ground school done. And the others like Wingfield Aviation, iFly GPS. These are the good guys of aviation making great products. And if you can support them, we would really appreciate it. And don't forget Flying Eyes. Use our code TakingOff, all caps, one word, for 10% off. Okay, that's all I have for today. Remember, superior judgment trumps superior skills. Stay safe.